Now, what if planets don't actually orbit anything? They just appear to because they're moving in a straight line on a rotating magnetic field. Now, when we compare that to the trajectory of the ISS over a flat Earth map, it matches up almost perfectly, which debunks the idea it's in a gravitational orbit because gravitational orbits can only happen around great circle routes. Examples of great circle routes could be the equator or all meridians. Globers can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure they will in the comments. Now here you have the path of the planets over a flat stationary Earth, which is where we live. And now when things start getting really interesting is NASA just reported they've launched an electrostatic levitation laboratory. It says here ESL, or electrostatic levitation, allows for materials to be studied with minimal gravitational effects and without being in contact with a container or instrumentation. Don't you just love what they're doing with our tax dollars? Can't wait to give them another $60 million tomorrow.
Those pictures are not faked, and I'll tell you just, if nothing else, here's why you can tell they're not faked. Just to create the paperwork that NASA has created, in this one case, just the paperwork to send anything out in space, to send people into orbit or to send them to the moon, that amount of paperwork would make faking it prohibitively expensive. No one could afford to generate that much documentation.
It's so crazy because I never would have believed we went, but since we have the paperwork, I guess that just proves it. That definitely proves it for me. I mean, that's solid evidence, you know? Not any of the fake video footage or just the blatant, ridiculous fact that 250,000-mile journey in a rocket is not possible. Not by any stretch of the imagination. So I just find that interesting. But I mean, the paperwork, since he has the paperwork, I guess I believe him. I'm not going to call their bluff on that one because the paperwork is definitely what ties it all together for me. I mean, what about you? Paperwork? This is just for your entertainment, though.
What up, fam? Let's help Matt understand the magnetic field on a flat Earth. Okay, so we don't live on a single torus, we live between a double torus. On a magnetic field, you have something called a block domain wall, which is effectively a static plane. It doesn't move. It's right in the middle of this double torus. That's where we live. For example, and again, here we got a magnet underneath the ferrule cell. The top view would be looking down, and then right here we got a side view. So for example, here you can see there's two spinning vortices. Pretty cool. There you go. Okay, so hopefully you and the audience understand that part. Now, let's look at the path of the ISS over a flat Earth and a globe. Which one makes more sense and matches that magnetic field? The flat Earth. And look where it doesn't go in the middle, because that's the North Pole, which makes perfect sense on a flat and geocentric Earth. And no, that's not a globe flattened out. You guys can't even concede what a flat Earth map would objectively be. Now, the path of the moon over a flat Earth. Look again, it fits perfectly within that magnetic field that we experienced, the top half over the Earth. Also, the planets. Again, fitting perfectly within those magnetic field lines. And they don't go in the middle, aka the North Pole. And there's just a view of all of them together, pretty beautiful. And last but not least, people had used a supercomputer to map the position of the sun, and it actually falls within a torus field over the Earth. What a coincidence. So yeah, I hope that helped. We don't live on a globe, we live on a static plane between a double torus. Peace.
You guys are not going to believe what I captured with my telescope. So I wanted to show people just how bright the so-called planets truly are. Because all the images and photos we see online are extremely underexposed, and they're either stacked or layered or just plain CGI. So I decided to take a series of long exposure photographs of Jupiter. And this is one of those photographs. This is just a 30-second exposure of Jupiter. But this video isn't just about how bright Jupiter is. What I want you to notice is this odd-looking lens flare up above it. Now I know what you're thinking. it's just a lens flare. But is it? I know it's just a lens flare, but there is more to it. So when I was processing my photos, I was like, you know what? I took 27 really nice exposures, 30-second exposures. I wonder what it would look like with some stacking. So I stacked 27 30-second exposures together, and you are not gonna believe what it revealed. This is gonna blow your mind. Now, telescopes like mine use mirrors and lenses, and it shows you an inverted image. So once you get done processing your photos, you have to flip them around. Basically, you see a mirrored image. It's backwards. So look what happened after I stacked 27 of these photographs together and then flipped it. God is showing off. Check this out. What are the odds that I would stack 27 long exposure photographs of Jupiter together and the lens flares would be layered just perfectly where it would spell God? Look, G-O-D in capital letters. Now, if this doesn't make you a believer, I don't know what will. There are no coincidences. I can't explain it, and I don't know how he did it, but I know that this was God. I mean, seriously, what are the odds that the lens flares would layer themselves perfectly together to spell God? This world is not what you think it is, and it's not what you have been told. We do not live in a heliocentric model. Think about it. They're not saying that your world is centered around the sun. They're saying your world is centered around Helios. Heliocentric. We were all tricked, deceived by Helios, aka Lucifer and Satan. Don't believe the lies of the devil. Research biblical cosmology. Creation happened exactly as Genesis 1 says it did. Evidence of intelligent design is all around us, everywhere, every day. Do not be willfully ignorant, my friends, and don't be sin-tricked by Helios. Repent and believe on Jesus Christ, and you shall be saved. God bless.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
Oh, I have a list. I'll be right back. Okay, you ready? Don't get offended. Space is fake. Gravity is fake. God is real. The firmament is real. Dinosaurs are fake. Ice ages never happened. Evolution is not real. Human trafficking is very real. The government lies about everything. Our entire history is a lie. The earth is flat, motionless, with mountains, valleys, rivers, and oceans. We are safe and secure. The only thing that can harm us is our government. Our votes don't count. Religion is man-made. This one might hurt a few people, but King James was written by a Freemason. Our education system was also created by a Freemason in 1902 by John D. Rockefeller, who also took over mass media and modern medicine. Chemtrails are real. The sun and the moon are local inside of the firmament. The stars are fixed since the beginning of time. We use them for navigation and for telling what season we're in. Research Eric Dubay and research the Freemasons. The astronauts are Freemasons. Our founding fathers are Freemasons. Werner von Braun, who helped create NASA and is the head engineer, has on his tombstone Psalms 19:1, which says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork." Everything to do with space or dinosaurs or gravity is pseudoscience. Pseudoscience is not the same as science. They're two different things. Giants are real. Antarctica is not a continent at the bottom of a ball. It's an ice wall that surrounds us 360 degrees. We have more lands beyond the ice wall. Antarctica Treaty will not allow us to go independently explore Antarctica. Antarctica is all south. We only have magnetic north. All of our ancient ancestors depict Earth stationary with the firmament. All of them. Every single encyclopedia has a section for the firmament up until 1958 when NASA was created. And CGI was created the same year NASA was. The movie Alfred Hitchcock. I'm sorry, it was Alfred Hitchcock, the movie Vertigo.
Has anybody shot a gun before? Because I want to talk about the speed of a bullet versus the speed of a rocket. A bullet travels 2,700 feet per second, which is approximately 0.5 miles per second, which is about a half a mile per second, which means that every 2 seconds, a bullet is going 1 mile. Now, in order for a rocket to reach orbital velocity, it has to travel at a minimal of 17,500 miles per hour. Now, let's break that down. That's 291 miles per minute, or 4 miles per second. Let's think about how incredibly fast that is for a second. 4 miles per second. Now, a human being's horizon is as far as their eyes can see, where the ceiling meets the floor. So if you're looking at the beach and you're 5 feet tall, science tells us that we can see approximately 2.8 miles out. So if we're looking at this photo of the beach and we're looking at the horizon, we can assume that's about 2.8 or 3 miles in the distance. Now double that and think about traveling that speed in 1 second. It's not possible. A human being would turn into mush. Now, how do I know this? Well, for one thing, when you are a pilot and they train you to fly in airplanes that go, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 miles an hour, you have to do these incredibly insane breathing exercises so that you don't pass out.
1, 2, breathe. Drop the shoulders. Breathe. 1, 2, breathe. Squeeze your legs, squeeze your butt. Hey, squeeze, keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing. Are you there? How you doing? How you doing?
No. So as you can see, this dude just passed out because the G-force is so powerful that the blood will not circulate to your brain. They actually wear special outfits that restrict blood flow in certain areas so that the blood stays where it's supposed to. That's just an example. And that's only going about 2,000 miles an hour. Now, 2,000 miles an hour is nothing if you consider in 1969, the rocket that went and orbited around the moon and came back hit a high speed of 24,790 miles an hour. Now, imagine trying to travel that fast. Pretty sure you'd be turned into liquid instantly. Sorry, that is not possible, but this is only for your entertainment.
Have you ever seen the other side of the moon? Is it sphere, round, flat? When something is round and far away from you, you cannot say what shape it is. So looking at it, it could be a flat plate, it can be oblate, it could be concave, or it could be a sphere. Have you seen a moon rotating like a ball in the sky? We've always seen one side of it, which is impossible that it is a spherical. Using the word round is correct. Plate is also round. Look at the moon right here. Does it look round to you? Yes. Look like a sphere? Yes. Is it really a sphere? Take a look at it far away. It looks really a spherical, but it's just a page of book. Look. So if you cut it out, that's flat plate. I will show you a demonstration how a moon do its phases. The moon is a cosmic plasma, so when it's enter in the water, it shows phases of the moon. Alright? And that is how moon is. That is also why we see stars through the moon, especially through moon phases. Moon only illuminating the local clouds. Shade from a sun is cooler than direct sunlight. Moon shade is warmer than moon light. Moon produces cold light. So moon is not a solid rock. That's what they said 298,300 miles away. Again, moon is a cosmic plasma. Also, you can try it at home. Put 4 kinds of circles, flat, concave, spherical, on the wall. It should be far away from. Then take a video of it. You wouldn't know what shapes are each of them, so no one can land on it. Americans and Russians are thinking to land a man on it. Well, that would never happen. People believe everything what NASA told. That they put a flag, they can play golf in the moon, or even drive a truck. Neil Armstrong took all the credits from landing it, but not giving credit to the ones who took this picture that's already waiting there. These guys are all US militaries, men who coerced into acting. They wanted the money and power, came with that deal. The problem? They were terrible actors. They couldn't even pretend to be excited when they see something new on space. Usually when we do birthdays, graduations, we are too much happy. We see it in our faces. But space exploration, you find something new, a discovery, for example, you don't celebrate it, knowing that they are always lying to the world. Their facial expressions are similar to those who's experiencing constipation and not celebrating an accomplishments. Search and Programs for Tech Advancement has this 100-page declassified document from the CIA agency. Includes doctoral dissertations defended in the Scientific Council of Institute of Physics and Geophysics in USSR. In it, you will find detailed descriptions of any experimentations sponsored by the Academy of Soviet Union. And they also have a tool used to determine the difference luminosity of the firmament. That's why NASA signed contract with Nikon to discontinued Nikon IP900 zoom camera, because there you would see luminaires, different types of colors. That's what NASA called planets, is only a wandering stars. But NASA showed you this perfectly curved, circled shape with colorful identities. They also mentioned on that document of a near sun halo in their opening lines. You know what's kicker? This dissertation contains a certain formula of the brightness of the sky, taking into consideration only the brightness of the first order, and derived on the assumption of a flat Earth. And also the founder of NASA Exploration, on his graveyard, there is a psalm, a verse, that over our head is a firmament. Shukran.